Hi, my name is Catherine Simpson. I'm here today to show you how to make a lovely frame. I posted this on the demonstrator website on Thursday evening after I had a lovely class with my ladies, and I was blown away by all the comments. And the number one was, can you show us how it's done? So this is my first video, and I'm going to show how to make this gorgeous frame using some stamps and some dies. Now the dies are called the Hometown Greetings die set, and here they are. They're a load of beautiful houses. You've got a tag topper here and some little stars that you can punch out of bits of cards so that you've got a bit of a starry background if you want one. But we're going to mainly focus on the three edgelets you've got here with all the houses and the trees and the beautiful church. I'm also going to be using the matching stamp set, which is the Hearts Come Home, using for a background the Santa in his sleigh and the stars and the snowy background, because on my original sample I used some retired paper. It was embossed resist paper that Stampin' Up did, I think it was last year, mainly because I wanted the ladies to concentrate on making their frame and not have to stamping out a lot that night. So we're going to start off by making the background. When you're making your frame, you need to think about how big your frame's going to be. I've got one here, and it came from the range in the UK, and it's saying that the inside side is 6 inch by 6 inch. Well, when I measured it, it's just slightly smaller than 6 inch by 6 inch. So make sure you measure your inside of your frame so that it fits perfectly. If it doesn't, it causes a few problems when you come to finishing the project and putting it all together into the frame. So here we've got a slightly smaller than 6 inch by 6 inch Whisper White thick card. We're going to use the Santa in his sleigh stamp. It's available in wood mount and in the clear mount like you see here. I'm also going to use Versamark ink. We're going to make our own ink resist, so just lightly tap and position the stamp and lift off. Now what we are then doing, we're going to emboss this, heat emboss, with some clear embossing powder. There we go, tap tap tap, and it helps if I actually do it on the right bit. There we go. And you might be able to see there, you've got your Santa in his sleigh. Okay, I'm not going to bore you with heating it up. So in the grand old terms of, here's one we did earlier. I hope you can see that. I've done stars and the Santa in his sleigh. Now the emboss resist technique is where you heat and stamp, emboss, and then ink over the top, and the ink resists where you've stamped. So I've got a sponge dauber and Night of Navy ink. So just sponge daub over, nice lot of ink. Doesn't matter if it's uneven, because a night sky is never completely even blue anyway. And you'll see from there that it's resisted where I've stamped the stars. Start the Santa off, and there we go. I'm not going to bore you with doing a whole sheet. So here's one I prepared earlier, and then I went mad with Wink of Stella. So I'm hoping it picks it up with the Wink of Stella pen, just dabbled all over it to give it a beautiful starry background. I haven't done the whole sheet for the final version because you're going to have the houses in front of that, so no use wasting ink, etc. Just do it about 2/3. Okay. This is the back of our our frame. So you've got the thing there. When we have the frame, it's going to have a little tab, some of them do, some of them don't, that will fix onto the top of the frame to make it hang up. So what you need to do is remember that's going to be going over the top of your project. So when I use tear and tape on the back of my background, I missed a little bit so it doesn't hit that bit. Okay, and then what will happen is I'll stick that down. So good old tear and tape is brilliant. It's nice and strong, ideal for box making, and I've used it on this rather than snail because I wanted a good strong fix, because we're going to have quite a lot of layers and you're going to be doing a bit of fiddling to get everything into the frame, so you want it nice and sturdy. So get it the right way up and glue it down. There we go. Okay, so that's your back of your frame. Now we're going to be using some lights because we want our frame to be lit up. Let's back to the frame. Okay, and we're going to use some battery operated lights. I got these from Amazon. There's the box. You get 8 lights in the box. Okay, and they're called micro LED lights. They come like this. Okay, and you've got a little tab there to take off when you want to use it. But remember, because they're button cell batteries, when you take that little tab off, it gradually degrades the battery. So don't take that tab off until you actually want to use the lights. Okay, but we need to have something to go through from the back to the front to start layering up our light. So we need to make a hole, and for that I'm going to get out my trusty crocodile, because it gets through to absolutely everything. So put a hole, and there we go, like a knife through butter. There we go. Okay, and what happens, just going to get the one that I've undone earlier. You get 20 lights on 1 metre, and we'll need to pop the lights through that hole. Okay. Luckily these are on wire, so it makes it really easy when it comes to finally putting everything together. If it was this sort of material, it would be a lot more difficult to control the lights, but because it's on wire, we'll be able to sort it out nicely. I'm going to put that to one side because we're now going to do the actual front of the houses. Okay. We just need another piece of cardstock. Now we're going to use 3 layers on this, so you'll need 3 pieces of card, and I made them just under 6 inch wide, which is how wide the frame is, and I cut one at 5 inches, 4 inches and 3 inches, and added my dies and run them through the Big Shot. Now you'll see that it's actually longer than the actual die. Now these are edge-lit dies, so they don't actually chop off down the side. You can then do your next bit, and that's how I've done it. And here's one I made earlier with the church. And so you need to cut 3 lots, big, small, and I used the little tiny houses at the back, trying to give a bit of perspective. Okay, and that's the middle one, and here's the last layer. Now you know that we have lots of little bits on in these ones, so I use a die brush, and I've put the actual mat in a clear stamp case, and that just means that it's not getting bits too much all over the craft room. I try and keep myself a little bit tidy. So let's get in most of the bits out, so it makes it nice and clear. So that's your 3 layers. Okay. Okay. Now you could just have them white. Maybe do a little bit of sponging if you wanted to get a bit of definition. That's what my ladies did on Thursday. They did the white version, and we coloured the trees a little bit with a little bit of sponging. But I also did a coloured one, so that's what we're going to do today. And I'm going to show you how we did the colour version. Okay, so we start off with a house, and I'm going to use are Stampin' Up markers. This is basic grey to start with because I'm going to make do the roof, and just using the brush end I'm just going to colour the roof. You don't have to be accurate, just as long as you've got a piece of scrap paper underneath. There we go. And then I've got, this is Soft Sky, just going to do the actual house itself. Don't have to be particularly accurate, just a little bit of colour. Okay, now the windows and the door, I decided I wanted to do blue, and I want to make it look like they've got frames. So I'm going to colour in the door. I'm just going to colour in the door, and then I'm going to go round a little bit wider through the hole, and that should give me a little bit of a frame. If I move it away from the scratch pad, you can see I've got a little bit of a frame there. And do it to the same to the window, round, and each of the other windows. And then do the cross there. You might find you need to go into with the fine part of the pen just to get extra detail, but this does it as starts it off. Yeah, a little bit of the other end of the pen just to tidy it up a little bit. And that way, it's an easy way of getting a bit of detail in your house. Okay, the trees. Now, you could just do one colour green, fine, but most trees have a couple of different colours. So I'm going to show you how I did my trees. I'm just going to use the brush end and I'm going to dab all over. Just dib dab, dib dab, dib dab. And then I'm going to go with a lighter colour. That was Old Olive, by the way, and this is Pear Pizzazz. And I'm just going to colour in the rest of it in green. So you get a dappled tree. Okay. And then you do a brown in to make your tree trunk. Okay. The next thing is, once you've coloured all your houses out, and by the way, I did a special thing on the church because I wanted it to look like stone. So I've got the smoky slate, and all I did was I used a fine pen and I just made little tiny lines, horizontal lines, and then some vertical lines to make it look like it was stone. So there.